What's up, YouTube? Kedris here, and I'm known for doing Nottingham Forest content for the English Premier League club because that is what I'm really passionate about in this day and age. But we are not to forget that I am American. So I, of course, follow American football. I have an NFL team. I have a college football team. I have a baseball team. I got teams in other sports as well. But I'm just not as passionate about them as I am about our beloved Nottingham Forest. So I thought I'd just do a little bit new video. Anybody who's coming in here that's new, this is probably my only video for this channel so far having to do with the Jaguars. But they are my team, Jacksonville Jaguars. It's my NFL team. And I want to talk about them. Why do I want to talk about them? Well, I've been perusing the YouTubes looking for draft content because, as you know, the draft is starting next week. And I wasn't satisfied. I was like, man, I want to get in on that. I want to talk about it. I love my team. I want to see and show what my thoughts and feelings are, get it out there. So I decided to make a video, as all YouTube content creators are to do. So let's get into it. So this is my roster, my depth chart, what I've got going right now. Obviously, it's a little jumbled up because we just had all those players from training camp re-sign with the team. So there's a lot of people that may be out of position or not in their true position right now. But I kind of just took all the guys who came from training camp and just threw them in there a little bit. I also didn't specify anything like nose tackle, three techniques, stand up, differences between the edge rushers, the difference between Will Sams and all that kind of stuff. I basically just try to make it to where it's easy to read. Something, if you play like Madden, well, God, how long has it been since I played Madden? If you play Madden, you can pretty much grasp what I'm trying to put out there. But this is the team currently. And there's a couple things I want to note that I've really noticed once I've started actually perusing through this. So I want to start with the wide receivers. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr., Jones for heavy contributor on special teams. Trammell, he's all right. Myers, Washington, and Hunter. And then we don't really have anybody. Boy's a guy from training camp. I don't expect him to make the team. And Jones is kind of one of the guys who yo-yos between them. We really need to target a wide receiver in this draft. That's my first notice when I was looking through this. We need some more depth. We need some more players. Obviously, we can sign somebody in free agency, but our cap space is looking really, really tight. So, I mean, at this time, I think wide receiver is definitely a priority in the draft. Moving to the tight end position, we got Strange, Morris, Long, and Herbert. Herbert being Justin Herbert's brother from the Chargers, came up from the practice squad. If he wasn't able to make the team sheet, especially when Strange got injured for most of that time, he wasn't able to consistently stay there, I don't think he's going to make it again. But also, Hunter Long and Herbert are kind of the same, I wouldn't say profile, but same bracket when I talk about quality. And Long is more of a pass catcher. Morris is more of a blocker, and then obviously Brenton Strange. So a tight end in the later rounds is also something to be targeting in this draft for me. Moving to the line.
Get your fat ass back here.
Cole Van Lanen obviously got the bag during the season. He's going to be our starting left tackle for the foreseeable future. Cleveland, he's stuck at guard. We tried him at tackle, didn't work. Sorry, buddy, but you're a guard. That's what you are. Hainsey, still young. And I want to note something because I've seen a lot of people on who don't really know the Jaguars very well saying that our line is kind of old. I don't think so. Like 28, 28, 28, 29, 24. That's like really young, especially when offensive linemen can play until their mid-30s almost for a lot of them. And the elite ones, like Trent Williams, can play well into the 30s, late 30s, almost 40. So I think our line is actually pretty young. I like the qualities because it has really showed itself at the end of the season. I've also seen Gladstone and Liam Cohen say they've seen good things from specifically Monheim, the rookie from last season, and Millam. I do like them both. I don't obviously get in the needed I don't obviously get in the nitty-gritty of offensive line prospects, but I like to keep informed and I pay attention, especially when my coach and my general manager say something positive about an offensive lineman. I go, okay, I need to lock in on these people. I like both of them. Cooper Hodges, unfortunate, he had the injury. I think his rookie season or his second season. He was really coming on, and then from my perspective, he's really just kind of fallen off. I don't see him recovering. I don't think he's going to be that starting left guard I thought he was going to be like 2 or 3 seasons ago. So for me, like these guys here are all added from training camp. Don't count Hodge. For me, he's got to go. And then I want to talk about Walker Little. Walker Little was supposed to be the guy, the left tackle. He's just not it. And we've tried him at guard as well, especially when Cleveland got injured and just not working. His salary cap hit is 14.5 million this season.
Bruh.
For a backup left tackle, for a backup guard who's not even really that good. So I expect Gladstone to look to offload him in the draft, try to trade him away for some picks. If not, then he will be able to have. We save 6 million that way, but if he can't get the trade done, then post June 1st we can cut him and save 1 million in cap space. Obviously, we'll have dead cap, but it frees up 1 million in cap space. So I'm looking for him to definitely be a trade slash cut candidate. I know Brian Thomas Jr. was talked about as somebody to be traded, and honestly, I'm open to a trade for him. I really am. I just don't see it. He's to be the number one wide receiver. I don't see the fight, the grit, the consistency. I mean, he was one of the people who were making a lot of drops at the start of the season. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes back into form, but man, if there's a really good trade, like maybe trade him and a second round pick to move up into the first round to get a really, really elite wide receiver, I would be down for that, to be honest. Moving to the QB position.
Here comes the money.
Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to start. I'm fine with Nick Mullins as a backup. He doesn't really have the arm strength, but he does have the technical ability to execute Liam's offense. So people are saying, like, we need a backup QB. I disagree. I don't think it's a priority. Looking at the backfield, the halfbacks, the running backs, we have Bashaw Tootin, LaQuint Allen, Rodriguez was also signed, and then we have DJ Dallas for special teams. I honestly don't think we're going to target anybody in the draft for running back because Tootin, for me, is going to probably be our most used back, but he's going to be mostly like from between the 20s. I like to say like between the 20s is one area of the field, and then you have the red zone, which is a completely different thing. I think we'll see Bashaw Tootin, especially between the 20s, and then LaQuint Allen as the third down back, receiving back type of scat back. Although I think he's bigger and more physical than a normal scat back, but he's got good hands. And then Rodriguez will be the pounder, will be the guy in the red zone who I think will contribute a lot of touchdowns this season. And I think we got a really diverse backfield, and I think this is what Gladstone was going for, because especially if you look at the Rams model, they like to use multiple backs. And I think if we're trying to save money especially, this is probably the backfield we're going to go with. Unless like a freak athlete falls to us, I just don't think we're going to prioritize running back in the draft. Moving to the defense for the Jaguars, I think this is where we're going to be really heavy in our draft picks. For me, especially, I want to use the early round pick for a prominent position in this team. Like I said, I didn't really go into anything specific like diversifying the positions into nose tackle, three technique, and all the other and whatnot. I just kind of laid it out normally, but I will talk about it a little bit. We signed, obviously, Monteric Brown. I'm not completely sold on him being a starter for the season. Taylor and Lovely were signed from training camp. Braswell has been a contributor, but I don't really see him as being a real second choice or a starter if one of these guys go down between Travis Hunter and Brown. So I think it comes where cornerback becomes really, really important to me in the draft. and I think it could be a primary target for us, even more than defensive tackle. 'Cause I've seen a lot of people mock us for defensive tackles, mock us for wide receiver. I actually think the hidden thing we need is a cornerback. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, dude, we're destitute. Like Jordan Lewis, 31 years old. He's not very good playing outside corner. Jarian Jones, he can kind of play outside, but it's not his strong suit. Honestly, the our nickelbacks are fantastic. Both of them, absolutely elite quality players. Muhammad is from training camp. I keep saying training camp. It's practice squad, whatever you want to call it. But so we're looking at Brown, Hunter, and Braswell. And Braswell for me should not be a 3 or 4 center back. Fucking, I've been avoiding saying center back because that's a European football term, but cornerback. Okay, so we need cornerback. I feel like this is the number one priority for us in the draft. I don't see anybody really talking about it, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed because this is really, really shallow depth, and the quality is kind of not so good. Moving to the edge, obviously Trayvon Walker and John Hines Allen are the starters. Trayvon Walker, congratulations, got the bag, my bro. And I've heard a lot of good things from Liam Cohen about BJ Green and Strigow. Both of them seem to be performing really well. And from what I've seen when they've had the limited snaps that they have, they seem to be all right. I expect them to take a step forward in their second season in the NFL and do a little bit better. I think we will target edge, but it'll be like really late in the draft, and it'll be for like a really freak athlete. So for me, not a priority. Moving to the inside interior.
Hi, big boy.
We got Devon Hamilton at the nose tackle. Armstead playing 3 technique. Mason Smith, Dickerson, Rose comes from the practice squad. So these guys are really good for stopping the run, but our only like pass rusher from the inside is Eric Armstead. And these other guys are more run stoppers, and they don't really create havoc too much. So I do think D tackle in the 3rd round should be a pick we make. But like I said, I prioritize the cornerback more. And we moved Trayvon Walker inside on some of the 3rd downs, especially later in the season. And he actually did really good disruptively in there up against like one-on-one with a guard. I think he actually excels really well. And there was a point in the season where I was actually advocating for him to be moved inside to play. I just think I don't know, man. Maybe he develops further, but for me, Walker, he just doesn't have the bend to really play edge, and I think inside could really be a good thing for him. But I mean, then again, we have one of the best run defenses in the NFL because he plays on the edge, and I think maybe play him on the edge for 1st and 2nd down and then move him inside on 3rd down could really be a huge solution for us. And it gives Strigow and BJ Green a chance to really make an impact and further develop. But I obviously think we do need to pick up an edge somewhere, probably late in the draft. I think if we can get like a freak athlete like Vandenberg, is something to look at. Looking at the linebackers, I think our linebackers are deceptively good, but also deceptively bad as well. Aluakun getting on in age, 31, the tackle machine. Obviously, he's going to start. Ventrell Miller has shown really good development. I still think he's more of a thumper, and he's not so good in coverage. Guard Deck, he's usable, but he's more of like a pass rusher, edge type player. Like I should probably move him to edge, to be honest, because that's really where he's more effective, though he can play that linebacker role. Abdullah, special teams contributor. Mick Leod is an interesting one because he got injured, but there was good things said about him during camp, but he just was injured for most of the season. Same thing with Combs. I've heard good things. Kaiser, I think Kaiser could be a real dark horse for a shot at starting this season over Miller. I've liked what I've seen from him, especially at the limited snaps he had. on the field, he looked pretty decent. But like I said, none of these guys are like the locked in starter like Devin Lloyd was. That's why I think it's a little deceptive on how deep slash good our linebackers are. Could be something we target, especially if we get a freak athlete like in the third round. I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. Who's the Notre Dame guy? The guy from Notre Dame, getting him, getting a linebacker, and getting a defensive tackle in the third round. Moving to the safeties, Johnson really came into his own last season. He looked good when he played. Still some things he needs to clean up and some things he needs to work on, especially coverage wise. Ransaw, I've heard good things about him, and apparently he's one of the players that Liam Cohen and James Gladstone expect to take a step forward this season and really contribute. Thomas is from the practice squad. Murray, so I do think we need a safety. I think it is one of our targets in the draft. Murray, he's older, and I just don't feel like he impacts the game the same way, kind of like we used to have with Cisco. But I mean, he's fine. Could be better. He's kind of pushed it to free safety, but I don't feel like he's got like the speed and athleticism to really cover the field, and he's more of a thumper as well. I think safety for me, I also thought about that being one of the like tied for cornerback for being one of the positions we target, but I think we will stick with Murray for the rest of the season. I just think definitely in next year's draft, safety is going to be a really big target for us. Craig, obviously, practice squad member, and then Lane. Yeah, he's kind of one of them contributing players, but doesn't really. He's not going to start, and he's not really that good of a second option. Moving to special teams, we got punter Logan Cook. Keep him, love him. Cam Little, give him the bag, baby. Give him the bag. He's worth it. Great kicker. We always seem to have good kickers, even when we were crap. And Mastasic, I mean, it's a long snapper. What can you say? He does his job very well. But anyways, that's it for the roster. Our draft picks, we got a second round pick, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So we got a lot of picks, 11 picks. Obviously, we don't pick first. Could we move into the first round? Possibly. I could definitely see it happening, especially if you pair with like a Brian Thomas Jr. trade or a Walker Little trade. And then we kind of trade our second round. But for me, priority is second round. I would pick a cornerback. Third round, I would go defensive tackle. I like the guy from FSU, a wide receiver or safety. And then tight end, maybe the guy from Notre Dame, was the name Radon. And then fourth round, fifth, all these other guys, you can kind of make positions to fill in like I showed over here. You know, cornerback, defensive tackle, wide receiver, tight end, edge, linebacker, safety. You can get multiples at these positions. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 players. So got a lot of stuff we need to fill, positions we need to look for. And I know Gladstone, at least from the draft that we just had, I trust him to make the good decisions at these draft picks. Looking at the PFSN, I recommend this app or website to anybody who wants to do mock drafts. I freaking destroy this thing. I am doing so many mock drafts on here. And this is just a kind of like a draft quarters HQ. If you go over here and click Team Draft HQ, this shows you what people are mocking for us. Grayson Halton, D tackle from Oklahoma, seems to be heavily in the third round. Like I said, third round pick for D tackle. There you go. Running back for these two, I actually don't think we need his running back as much as Poplar. I think a lot of people see that we trade or let ETN go, and they're like, they need a running back. They need a running back. We really don't. Barham, round 3. I would definitely take him in the third round. Take him and Grayson Holton. Skylar Bell. I don't really rate Skylar Bell, to be honest with you. Rodriguez. meh. Rivers, I actually like Rivers. Wheatley, Tiernan, McKellen. So, meh. That's how I feel about it. Meh. But this is what I'm talking about. Like when you say team needs, and you go here and it's like defensive tackle 10. Is it really? I don't think it's that high. I feel like corner is more important. Linebackers also rated high, but this is what I'm saying. Like people have a warped perception of like what our team's actually structured like. But anyways, that's what I had to say about the draft for the Jaguars. I just get really excited about stuff, man, and it was really bugging me some of the things that were being put out there by people who are not really in the know about the Jaguars. At least these are my opinions, you know. I could be 100% wrong, but my thoughts and opinions are as such. But anyways, if you guys want to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you think. I'm not going to be making that many Jaguars video. This is obviously a Nottingham Forest channel, but I thought this would be fun and I wanted to do it. And I'm a creator, so I did it. Let's go, Jags.